It's Hollie's Hotspurs back with another one. Chatting all things Tottenham, we're second to none. Special guests every time, if it's win, lose or draw. The passion is high like Harry Kane when he scores. Or when Lloris makes a world-class save. We got Højbjerg running the mid every game. Settle down, stick around, share your thoughts with the panel. And make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Coys.
Hello and welcome to another Hollie's Hotspurs Live. And I must say tonight, I think it is safe to say we are all buzzing, all over the moon, because ladies and gents, we are back in the Champions League. And to discuss everything that happened on Sunday, plus the fact that we're above them, not down the road once again. I think it's the sixth time in a row, so to speak. I am over the moon. So let's get cracking. I want to say hello to all these lovely people. Like I say, there's so many guests on the screen. It feels like Christmas, and it does feel like Christmas. So to start off with, I want to say a big welcome once again to Graham. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight on this amazing occasion. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Hollie. Thank you. And I look forward to a great evening. It's been a great weekend. It's been a great weekend, and Rangers won the Scottish Cup. Tottenham Champions League. What more do it?
Exactly. And if I get it right, Graham, because you're probably going to tell me if I don't get it right, but 38 years ago today, you lifted one of those cups as well, one of those bad boys.
Yeah, UEFA Cup. Yeah, and scored the goal. Hold on, what time is it? Oh no, it's a bit early for me scoring the goal.
I love that. So there we go. It's another massive occasion. And also with us tonight, Becky, you're back again. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. All good. I would love to come talking about Spurs. But yeah, we're all just so delighted after everything that's kind of culminated yesterday. And yeah, long may that continue.
Oh, yes. And also with me tonight, the man that writes the lyrics, the genius of the intro, we are joined by Formz. Formz, how are you, mate?
I am on top of the world. It was like a triple win yesterday with Son's golden boot, Champions League, and finishing above Arsenal, and I have not stopped smiling since.
I love that. That is a vibe. And also from across the pond, I am joined by Dakota. Dakota, how are you, my friends?
So good. Hard not to be good these days, right? You know, it's a beautiful summer's day. The breeze is stupendous, and we are having a great time.
I love that. And like we've all kind of said, may it continue. But I tell you what, I'm just going to relish in it for a little bit longer, because it wouldn't be right if we don't sit here and be like, once again, after Arsenal bigged themselves up, that them lot down the road were going to finish above us. It was all in their hands. And for once, it weren't Tottenham bottling it. It was them, wasn't it, Graham? So how sweet was it yesterday to see them below us once again?
Well, I've been looking on Twitter today at the AFT TV. And I've only just stopped laughing. Yeah, it's listen, we never said anything. We just carried on. All the punters on TalkSport. I've got to say, Jamie O'Hara said we would do it, but the rest of them all said that we wouldn't. I was confident before we played Arsenal that we would finish top four. I think I came on your show, didn't I? I think what the club have now, they have players that if you don't do it for Conte, you're not going to be there. And they know that. And so, I've had a busy week. I was in Seville. I never had a drink, Hollie. No drink. Not one drink all week. So Rangers unlucky in Europe. Won the cup, and then yesterday just finished me off yesterday. It was absolutely amazing. But soon as their team came out yesterday, I said to my mate who was watching it with me, this will be 4 or 5 today, because they're missing 3 of their better players. And it was just getting that first goal, and then the rest of it was cruise control. And Sonny, what a man, scoring 2 goals. Winning the golden boot. Yeah, the club are in a good position now. Now it's for Daniel Levy to back them. You've got to back them.
100%. And that's the thing, obviously, because we will get on to the lineups and stuff. And like you Graham's kind of alluded to, they didn't have the best kind of team. But I was saying in the preview, I think it was last week, I was thinking to myself, we shouldn't be worried. It's only Norwich. But Becky, sometimes when it's only Norwich, those are the days that you think to yourself, oh, will they do that? But yesterday, like Graham said, we came out all guns firing and we managed to obviously do what we did yesterday.
Yeah, Norwich's goal difference was very, very poor and they concede so many goals. So I was always hopeful that they were going to, do it and score lots. But I think the crowd helped as well. From the second they arrived in Norwich at whatever time they arrived, they didn't stop singing, so that helped as well.
And it is true. I think this season, Formz, we really have been the 12th man. I mean, we'll get onto it later, but I have to big up Spurs song sheet because my word, I've got Ben Tenko's song stuck in my head all day today.
Yeah,
it's one of that, and gimme a ginger from Sweden. I've non-stop singing it since he joined the bloody club. It's crazy.
Like, it is a good thing, and Formz as well. Like, obviously, we'll get on to start 11. I mean, the only real change was obviously the fact that Lucas was taken out, and we saw that obviously Kuleveski, that you've just sang, the ginger from Sweden, was put in. I think that was probably the right move. I think he's been firing, and obviously it did pay off because he did get the first goal, didn't he?
Yeah, and then I think he got he scored twice, didn't he? He scored once, which was a bit. It was just a standard goal, and then the other one just went in off his left foot. As soon as it left his left foot, I was like, "It's going in!" It was stunning. It was one of them where Kulusevski had to be back in the starting 11. I mean, I love Lucas Moura. Before this season, he was one of my favourite players. This season, it hasn't quite been his year, but yeah, definitely had to be Kulusevski back in that starting lineup. That 11, obviously, bar Romero is our strongest outfit. And although it is Norwich, and although they have been relegated, they finished 20th. Goal difference before they played us was minus 55 or something like that. It's one of them where just because you've been relegated doesn't mean that you're going to bend over for us. They could have wanted to go out with a bang, just like when we lost to Newcastle 5-1 and didn't finish above Arsenal when we should have done. So it was one of them where we had to field the strongest 11, and you were right, we were definitely the 12th man, which we have been in recent weeks, and it's really kind of got this. The club's kind of got this family feel to it recently, and it hasn't been like that since obviously the Poch era was flying. So it's just like it's really nice to see, and I just pray to whatever God anyone believes in that Conte is our manager next season.
100%. I think that was the thing. I think we were so worried because we wanted top four so much, not just for us, but also to take this club to the next level, because we've been saying, if Conte gets top four, Dakota, that's it for us. I feel like we can push ourselves to get onto that next level that we've been wanting to do for so long.
For sure. And, Ross brings up a good point of the change of mentality. And in the days leading up to the match, Conte was asked about that, have you heard of this term Spursy? And he kind of hit back against that. It's like, I've heard of this, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure that that's not true of this team anymore, and that the players don't even recognize what that means. And I think Sunday was the first step in showing that mentality is starting to change, because the players on the pitch looked like they had no doubt that they were going to go out and smash Norwich and finish fourth and move on to the real job. The job wasn't just getting in the top four. The job is competing in the Champions League and cementing Spurs as one of the top clubs in the world, not just in England.
100%. I think we can all echo that, and it's so nice to obviously get rid of that connotations of Spursy, to be like, actually, we've done it with Conte and we're going to do more with it. But obviously, I want to talk about obviously another starter, because there was points in the week where obviously this virus, or this lasagna gate, as we like to call it, or it's been termed, and Gary Lineker said that Kane obviously had it, which, okay, he could have had the virus, but he was saying it was something else. And it was so nice, Graham, to see Harry Kane. And I think the admin put it up as well. They took a picture of Harry Kane's shirt and his boots and stuff, and he said, "We're here," basically. So how nice is it to obviously see that Kane had fought off that virus, Graham?
Well, I put on Twitter after that, he came out, Gary Lineker. I put on Twitter, what an absolute total lie. And I said he hasn't got lasagna gate or anything like food poisoning. And within half an hour, he took it off. So, It's the press. It's the press. They want to make, if you, Ollie, you don't really know the press. Most of them are gooners. So they was
I'm
going
not
to do
surprised.
they was going to do anything they could. The only good thing that's going to come out of this is Spursy Day is no more.
Mhm.
Am I allowed to say Arsehole Day is coming?
Yeah, I like that one.
I
So
love
we've got
that.
Saint Arsehole Day now because they bottled it. They had 3 games, 4 points clear, and they bottled it. So June the 20, what was it yesterday? 2nd is Saint Arsey Day.
I'm going to
Love
clip
it.
that later. That is
Love
going.
it.
That is going
May
viral.
the 22nd. May the 22nd.
May the 22nd.
Saint Arsey Day now.
I love that. That is so good. I mean, JP saying as well. I mean, it's class stuff, and it is true because it was kind of in their hands, wasn't it, Becky? And I know we've spoken about it, but to see Kane start and obviously to get that goal as well, it's just another kick in the teeth that for those Arsenal fans that you just love to see.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it was in Arsenal's hands up until the North London derby, and then after Newcastle. And I think there's been a momentum shift since the Brighton defeat. I think everybody was so confident that we were going to get something from that, and we didn't. I think that was Conte saying to them, "This is your last chance to mess it up." And Arsenal beat West Ham, Man United, Chelsea. They're teams they shouldn't really, on paper, have beaten, and they did. So they've lost lesser matches, and we've built on that. And it's just seeing Kane. I just think I've said to many people that I meet, Gary Lineker is the reason I'm a Spurs fan. And I saw that on Friday afternoon. And I just think it's irresponsible. He got a lot of flack for it, but it's just clickbait. And I just think it's always Spurs fans. What have we done? If he's got issues with the board in the past, that's a separate thing. It always seems to be us that he's always taking the mick out of. It's always Spurs that he's aiming it at. So yeah, I think you see Kane's celebration was quite muted because I think even he felt a 2-0 it wasn't done. But yeah, Kane was hungry for it. He's got the record now, the most goals on the final day of the season as well. So it's just, he's ours and he's staying.
And that's the thing as well. Like I said, obviously, it was nervous. I mean, I was still nervous from kickoff, and obviously when Kane scored as well. So I was thinking to myself, I've been here before. I don't want to get too excited. But it is kind of true that now that we've got top 4, Kane's happy, and I think Formz about the whole lasagna thing, he went out there, proved the point, and now he's going to reap the rewards as well because we've managed to keep Conte and these sets of players that some, might be leaving, but some are going to stay together and they're going to push on in this Champions League.
Hollie,
I think
Hollie, you get nervous at 5-0.
I do, to be fair.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes to go and we're 5-0 up and you panic.
To be fair, I was watching it in the garden, and my other half Jay had all his not family, but his family friends round. I was sat there with my phone on a dodgy site trying to watch the Spurs, and I'm not kidding you. I think it was at 4-0. I was still shouting it like, "What are you passing it there for?" So yeah, I am a bit of a stress head, to be fair, but I think I don't know. I think it's just so nice now to be like I can chill out like that. I think that's the thing for me.
Yeah, without a doubt. And on the point that you were making, I think that we've got all the kind of ingredients now to be such an attractive prospect for top talents in Europe to want to come to us. I mean, look, with players like Kane and Son in your team, with a manager like Conte, with being in the Champions League, which is, I mean, a dream for every player in the world. Are lying if they say that they say it's not. And then to have someone like a captain, like a World Cup winner like Hugo Lloris in your team, and just to have obviously the stadium, the training ground, everything all in one becomes one of the most attractive packages for players young and old to want to come and be a part of it and sort of help us to go on and win something. And I'm excited to see what happens. I've actually been saying, and I'd actually like to get your opinion on this. I was talking to someone today, and they were like, "How far do you actually reckon we'll get in the Champions League? And would you sacrifice a domestic trophy for another Champions League final loss?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." I said I would be more than happy to get knocked out the Champions League group stages if it meant winning an FA Cup. I think that and I'm getting a lot of comments on a lot of my videos and stuff from Arsenal fans being like, oh, well, you're going to get knocked out the group stages anyway. And I'm like, well, the point of us getting top 4 wasn't to go on and win the Champions League. It's so unlikely we're going to go and do that. The point was we'd be able to now bring in the type of players that Conte would have wanted to then build and go for something domestic. And I think, like I said before, we're in a great position to go and do that. So wherever we end up in the Champions League, I just think it's going to be trophy season domestically for Tottenham Hotspur. It has to be. It has to be.
I do agree. I think, obviously, I'd love us to go all the way again because there's memories there that will last a lifetime for me for that Champions League run. But again, when you look back at it, actually, we don't have anything to show for it in the trophy cabinet, so to speak, that apart from a runners-up medal. And it's like, I would take a domestic trophy because I've only ever seen one. I would take one to be in that cabinet over a Champions League great run again, I think, for me personally. But Dakota, I kind of want to keep on. That's such a cool question. Is that kind of your kind of feelings as well, or would you prefer to see how far we could go in the Champions League if it meant missing out on another cup again?
Man, that's a tough question. I think I want to see what our window turns out to be like. If we can kind of do a mini overhaul, and you look at City and Liverpool, they've got 2 Premier League 11s in their squad. If we can get 1.5 Premier League 11s, why not both? Why not get to the Champions League final and lift some domestic hardware? I think it's
that Tottenham delusion. I love it.
I think it's very doable with the coach that we have, like Formz said, all of the facilities and everything that we've got going for us. There's no reason that we can't be more ambitious than let's pick one. Let's go for both.
I saw a stat today as well that worried me. Oh, it didn't worry me. But, Conte's won only 3 of his last 15 Champions League games.
Yeah, his record in Europe is really bad.
It's I don't think he's got past the round of 16. Am I what? Say that again.
You're depressing us.
No, I'm not trying, Graham. But it's just on the point I made. It's like
Listen,
we need to. I know, but I'm just saying it's just highlighting what I'm saying in the sense that we just need to use our position to create this domestic force.
I get Gooners coming on to me. You ain't won a trophy. We've won all these trophies. We've been above you and all that. For 20 years. I said, yeah, in the past. I said, I won UEFA Cup, FA Cup, 2 FA Cups, UEFA Cup, League Championship, League at Chelsea, League Championship at Rangers. Yeah, but that's long time. No, but it's in the past. We're looking at the future, and that's what you have to do. It is. And the bottom line of it is, listen, we can. Conte has to get back first. He has to get rid of all the deadwood, get rid of all that. Yep. He has players now that will fight for him. So we're getting the squad that he wants. Yes, he's going to bring in 4, 5, whatever. Going on the Kulusevski one earlier, Kulusevski was ill last week, and he had a real bad upset stomach. That's why he never played. He was always going to play on Sunday. Always going to play. I have friends in the rooms, and they tell me.
In the night.
So, yeah. So, what we have to do now, we have to build on what we've got. Yes, I agree. I think if it was me, I would want to win the FA Cup or League Cup because it's a trophy. And I look at mine and I think, wow, at least I've got some. Harry Kane needs, he wants to win. And I think with this manager, we have the right mentality. When everybody goes on Pochettino, and I loved him as a person, he was a good friend, but Poch always used to say at the beginning of the season, we're going for the Cup, the European Cup or Champions League when we're in that, and the League. They're the 2 hardest ones to get. He should have, when we got to the semi-final against Man United, he should have played the best team. We were at Wembley, and he would have won the trophy that year.
But it's in the past, Graham. It's in the past.
I know it's, but that's what I'm saying. So Conte won't fall for that. He will play his best team. If we get to an FA Cup semi-final, he will play his best team. He won't play.
Yeah.
He won't put an extra goal, like a lesser goalie, and he won't play a lesser fullback. He will play his strongest team. If you have a look, he plays his strongest team every game that's available.
And I think
that's why getting the players in and having that squad depth is really going to be key this summer, because you know there's a lot of players that were there for the previous Champions League final and they remember what that was like, but we need to build on that, because like people are saying, it's fantastic we're in the Champions League, but it's a lot more games now that they're going to be playing next year, and we've just about struggled this year, with Skip injured and then Romero injured, and then Bentancur had a poor leg last week, and it was Kane going to be playing, and it all just kind of impacts it. So it's the summer's really key in order to push on in those tournaments, and that's not even about talking about the World Cup and the impact that that's going to have right in the middle of the season as well.
That is a true point. Obviously, this season is going to be very strange in terms of the World Cup being right slap bang in the middle of it as well. And you're thinking, if Kane goes away in the World Cup and comes back with an injury, like you said, we've lost our striker again, essentially. And I'm not going through another season of not having a proper backup striker.
We will get one.
I hope so. I hope so. I really do. And that's
get one.
I hope so. And like, obviously, we've also got to talk about Sonny again. The man is just incredible. I mean, the goals that he scored this season to win that Golden Boot on par with obviously Salah, which was a bit unfortunate because yesterday I think he could have had at least 4. And he seemed to have scored the hardest attempts, didn't he, Becky?
Yeah. I said that, that cross from Kulu, the one that Krul saved, would have been a lovely goal. And then that one when he kind of fell over himself when he crossed it to Sonny. But yeah, he scored the trickier ones. But I loved it when they lifted him up at the away end. I think it just showed how the whole team wanted him to get it. Mora said he came on to try and get him. And Mora played really well when he came on, I thought. And, they lifted him up and it was just so fantastic. And Salah's goal was like a tap-in as well. It wasn't even worthy of him getting it. It was just so lovely that everybody loves Son so much. So delighted for him.
Yeah,
plus 23 goals for Salah, 23 goals for Son, but every single one of Son's didn't come from a penalty. It was like they should give it to the one with most goals from not a dead ball position.
Well, also he takes our corners as well. So I was thinking this in the first half against Norwich. Every time he had a corner, I was like, "Oh, well, he's not going to score from this, is he?" And then so he takes the corners as well, and sometimes the free kick. So it's just phenomenal. I love Sonny.
He is just an all-round proper. I must say proper geezer, but you know what I mean. He's just an all-round proper player. The way he gives the goals. He does the goals, and like you've all kind of said, and Dakota, I'll come to you, 23 goals that were not from a penalty spot or from a dead ball situation. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and that I remember early in the season when people in our fan base were saying that Son is in a slump and he needs to be rested a game here and there. He was our leading goal scorer when we were talking about him being in a slump. He was carrying our team at that time. So it's unbelievable we can be talking about someone the caliber of Heung-min's Son with a golden boot, Premier League golden boot to his name now, and still say that he is vastly underrated. But that's kind of the truth too. People don't recognize the quality that he has, what he brings to a team, because he doesn't just score the goals. Like Becky said, he gives the goals too. So it's unbelievable to be talking about someone like Sonny and underrated in the same sentence, but it kind of seems to be the case to me, even within our own fan base sometimes.
And I think that's also kind of a thing with Kane, because I think I found myself sometimes this season saying, like, come on, he needs not a kick up the butt, but he needs something to get him going again. But I think that's just because, Graham, both of them are so brilliant that when they're having an off day, you can kind of really notice it because the bar is always up here.
Yeah, well, they've set their own standard, haven't they? Like you just said, they've set their own bar. I think Sonny without Harry Kane, Sonny's not as good a player. Harry Kane knows he picks a ball up with his back towards Sonny, but he knows where he is. He knows where he is. He knows where he's going to be. me personally, the chairman's just signed Sonny for 5 years. We have to get Harry on a new contract for 5 years. You know, he's got 2 years left now. He's not going to go to Man United, because why would you go to Man United?
It's a sidestep, if not a downgrade.
Yeah, they're in freefall. He's not going to, you know, Harry Kane's not going to go anywhere. He loves Conte. He's at the football club. Now the club have to show how ambitious. You know, they have everything in place now. They have to build on that, and those two built around those two players. We have Romero, Bentancur, Ginger. You know, we have those players. Kulusevski. We have those players built. I think Højbjerg's been amazing with Bentancur. Absolutely amazing. You know, Sessegnon's coming on now. He's 21, 22 years old. You know, I just recommended to the club a lad from Rangers who's Bassi is his name. He came from Man United to Rangers. He's a big, powerful left centre half. Big, powerful. He was man of the match in the Europa League final. He was man of the match. He was man of the match on Saturday in his Scottish Cup final. I've heard that West Ham are after him now. So we have to, you know, that's down to the club. I've just recommended it. It's down to the club whether they pursue that thing. But Harry Kane and Sonny, listen, they're the best two strikers in the country. Probably in Europe, as a twosome. You know, you have Mo Salah and Mane. Yeah, they're brilliant. But these two, they know what's going to happen before they go on the pitch. And yesterday was the bottom line of it. You know, we got Harry gets a great goal. Bentancur makes the first two goals. Sonny picks up a goal, and then from Mora, and then all of a sudden he comes with a world beater. You know, what more could we ask for? We have them. We've got to keep them. It's down to the football club.
100%. And I think keeping obviously on this idea of bringing new people in, I think there's another good, and obviously the man behind me, I've taken the bag off his head just for this evening, because obviously he has got into Champions League football, and I thought I've got to take the bag off at some point. But I think there's another big thing we need to talk about, and obviously Becky, I think that is also the outs, because we found in the January transfer window that's kind of made the team morale of those people that want to be there a whole lot better for us.
Yeah, and as lovely as it is, Dele posting like really lovely messages about Son and things yesterday, you know, the fact that Ndombele, Lo Celso and Dele aren't there, and the kind of change in the ethos, I talked about it before, and the kind of the momentum and the attitude, that, and Kulu and Rodrigo are players that are in that idea that Conte wants. So they're only going to sign people that are going to fit into that kind of ideal. Yeah, people said about Pape Sarr, of course, you know, he's due back. Will he go out again on loan? And what will happen with Gil? You know, watching Winks, people videoed the, you know, like the celebration at the end. And I must have watched it 10 times back. And I keep looking at different players each time I watch it. Winks is probably the one that's a bit awkward when he's hugging everyone, and Stevie the same. And you can sort of sense that they're possibly gone. But yeah, you know, I think it's about the type of players we get as well as, you know, their price tag and what they can achieve. And also, I think we do need some Premier League players that, you know, because we're so lucky that Bentancur and Kulusevski have adapted so quickly. We need other players, and we've been lucky. You know, maybe some Premier League players will help that as well.
Yeah.
Becky, just a quick question for you. You go on social media a lot. Did you see Dele Alli having a word?
Yeah, I don't know what he said. People are sort of saying.
I would have thought.
Yeah, people are saying things like, you know, yeah, you're playing on Thursdays and we're playing on Wednesdays. They had kind of like a shoulder thing, so he kind of knocked into Xhaka here, and they're kind of facing each other like that, and Dele's mouthing something in his ear, and there's lots of people trying to say, but no one knows what he said.
Go on, Del.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant. I just wondered if anybody came out and thought, like you
Not
just
for
said,
definite. No, everyone's just guessing.
We're playing Wednesdays.
It would be class. And I think that's the thing. As much as Dele Alli frustrated me in a Tottenham shirt towards the end of his time with us, he still bleeds Tottenham, doesn't he, Formz? And that's the thing. As much as I love Winks, and for me right now, he's not the player to be at Tottenham anymore. It just, if not for you to feel sorry for them, you just want them to go and do better elsewhere, just not at the cost of us, obviously.
Yeah, it's one of them things where I feel like we need, and we've been saying it for years. I mean, from the moment Poch came out and said we need a rebuild and it's going to be a painful one, I don't think anyone really took him seriously until we started to just dip very, very quickly and drastically. And now it's kind of got to that point where Conte's been the one to turn around to the club and say, look, this is what you got to do. And they're actually listening, because obviously we sent Lo Celso and Tanguy and Dele out. And as Becky was saying, it has changed the morale, and that's just 3 players who have gone. So players like Winks, who obviously, again, bleeds Tottenham, and he always will. And he is a talented player. There is no doubting that. However, he is the type of player who, when he's not playing week in, week out, I imagine he's the type of person who's got a face on and training. And in the dressing room, he's pretty quiet. And it kind of just, even 1 or 2 players who are like that in the dressing room, you can sense it. As much as you'd all be celebrating, there's always this quiet energy coming from somewhere. And the likes of Winks, the likes of, as much as it pains me to say, Steven Bergwijn, because I've been watching Steven Bergwijn's body language a lot the past few games. And even when he came out to accept his goal of the season award at the stadium, he was really just not
No, it was very awkward. It was awkward, wasn't it? He kind of shook hands and then kind of tried to run off almost as fast as he could. It was awkward. Yeah.
So there were players like that, and I absolutely love Bergwijn, and I think he's an incredible talent. But it doesn't just come down to talent at the end of the day. It is morale, and it is mindset, and it is players who want to be there, and it is players who have to accept the fact that they might not be playing week in, week out. And if you're not that kind of player, then you have to go. You have to go, and we have to bring in players who are willing to fight for their place, and players who, yes, get pissed off if you haven't played for 2 games in a row, but prove yourself in training, prove yourself in the 10-15 minute cameo at the end of the game when you're being brought on as a sub, and you will make it to the first team. That's why Liverpool are so strong and are so good at what they do, because they've got 2 or 3 or even 4 players in each position who fight for it the whole time. And they've got such depth to the point where if Salah's having an off day, Firmino comes on, Mane can come on, Jota can come on, even the younger boys can come on, Minamino can come on. They've just got these Origi, they've just got all these players who, the moment they get given their little glimpse of a chance, they take it. And
hello, is this a Tottenham show or Liverpool?
No, I'm just saying, like, we need something. We need to basically copy that.
There's lots of comparisons to Liverpool, I think, because it was that sliding doors moment, wasn't it, when we're in the Champions League final? And a lot of people say that Liverpool did this and we didn't, and they did what they needed to do and we didn't, and that's why the comparisons are often made with Liverpool, because they did build in those positions. Linking to what you just said, I think big shout out to Sanchez in the last 2-3 games that he's come on, because we haven't, conceded, and he's done one. Like I said, I thought Moura played well when he came on Sunday, and although Winks is someone who will come on and play, I do think Stevie Bergwijn is probably the one that, and Reguilón possibly, they want to be playing all the time, and if they're not, they're probably the ones that we can get good money for and move on, and good luck to them. Like we said with Dele, there's no ill feeling at all, rather than them being here. It's like Rodon, Rodon came on, didn't he, at Burnley? What happens with Rodon? Is he in the mix? And it's all quite exciting. We're used to speculating and then nothing really happening. So it's quite nice that there is possibly going to be some change this year, and that we aren't just going to spend the whole summer talking about it. There might actually be some doing.
And not seeing Dybala. I mean, the Dybala thing, after last year, I've got nightmares. It's surfacing again. I mean, Dakota's ready on it already. Like, what's your kind of thoughts? Obviously, I get your kind of thoughts, obviously, with the guys have already spoken about different things. But what's your kind of take on it as well? Are you I mean, it's silly for me to say you excited for the transfer window, but it's nice to be like, we can get a lot of outs and we can probably get a lot of ins as well.
Yeah, I've got the Dybala kit in the cart on Spurs shop, ready to pull the trigger.
He's not coming.
He's not coming. He's not coming.
Listen, Paulo Dybala is my number one. I want him in a Spurs shirt. I will have hope until the day he says he stopped playing football. But yeah, he's not coming. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a busy window because we're gonna bring some guys in, but also we need to ship out these guys who are out on loan right now. We've got to keep in mind Giovanni Lo Celso and Tanguy Ndombele are not gone. They're on loan. They're coming back. And I think one of those two is going to be a lot easier to move on than the other. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I think Brian Heel is a guy who's going to be loaned out. I'd love to see him go to the championship, but it sounds like he's going to stay another year with Valencia.
He has to stay in England.
To be believed.
We're missing a trick with that. He's got to stay in England.
I think
he's Spanish, and he's not going to do that. He's not.
So why did we sign him? Yeah,
but
it's a Paratiti guy.
Yeah, it's not. They've signed him because of his talent. He's a talent, but he's not going to go to a championship side because the championship's a rough old league. It's tough, and so he's come to play for Tottenham Hotspur. That's what we signed him for. Okay, he's a bit lightweight at the moment, but going to Valencia for another year, he'll grow, he'll get stronger, and he'll get better. There's a player in there, but
for sure,
he can't come back to the championship because he just won't act it. He won't act that competition.
Yeah, I think Pape Sarr is going to be the most interesting one. I think to see what happens.
He's a midfielder,
center mid. So I don't even know what Conte thinks about him. So I think that situation.
Before, wasn't he? He was bought before.
He was. So I think it's going to be the most interesting one of the bunch. And then I think there is something to be said about potentially the back end of the season being a reset button for Tanguy Ndombele. And then if he's got his mind right and can kind of, etch a sketch the whole 2 years he was here before and start afresh with Conte. We'll see.
No, if he can't make it in France, I just don't think he can make it in England. He's going back to France.
But there's a lot of it's a very nuanced situation, and he's going to be hard to move on, I think, because of his wages. So we'll see how it works.
In the media the other day, it was like, I think it's 50 million. They've come to an agreement. I don't know if it's true or not.
I'm not sure about that. I think I've heard that they turned around to Spurs and said he didn't meet the expectations we thought he would. We're not paying the money. And I've also seen, and there's sources that come from everywhere, but I've also seen that Conte's basically said, look, if you come back to the club, you're training on your own.
Yeah, I've read that as well.
Until we move you on. And I think, look, it's one of them signings where I think I saw somebody commented something on this live stream saying that we have to be smart. Yeah, there you go. We have to be smart with our signings. And Ndombele, so much talent, but it's a punt. You take a risk on a player like that, playing in a league like the French league, coming straight to the Premier League and trying to fit him straight into the starting 11 and loads of pressure on him because he's our record signing. And it didn't work. I think shift him out for 25 mil and be done. But obviously, our chairman isn't going to like the sound of that very much. So we'll see what happens with Ndombele.
The other side of that, and that would be great, is the fact that I don't think Ndombele will go to somewhere that if his wages are less, it's his idea as well. Is that you understand he may say, let's go. But he's obviously the one getting the wages element of it. And his wages are so high that there aren't going to be teams in France, certainly, that unless it's PSG, let's assume, are going to be able to afford that.
And I think that's the thing as well. Like, although we put the blame on him not performing, we were the ones that gave them all that money for him. I think that sometimes it is quite frustrating when things like that happen. But Dakota, I know you were like really edging to talk about not my best mate Daniel Levy, but I'm on this show for like, you know, different opinions. So Dakota, what's your kind of thoughts on obviously the whole Nadon? Would if it meant having to take a cut on the Nadon blade, would you take it?
Sorry, say that again. If it was
my wording probably wasn't great, but say if obviously Nadon blade's not working at Tottenham, do you think Daniel Levy's going to be the man this time with Conte to take a cut on it and say, look, okay, we're not going to get what we want for him?
I think we saw some of that in the summer window last year, and I think for me that was evidence that Paratici's actually running the show. I mean, we sent Sissoko off for what, $6 million to Watford. We let Toby go for $3 million. We operated in a way, you know, there was 25 million being thrown around for Toby Alderweireld last summer, and we let him go for $3 million. You know, we let Dele Alli go for nothing. So I think things are operating in a bit of a different way. I think Daniel Levy has delegated football operations to Paratici. Obviously, he gets the final say on everything. But I think that there is kind of a changing of the guard moment that happened over the summer that we're going to continue to see. So, yeah, maybe Tanguy does go for 25 million to Milan or whoever. Milan will call for one of our players for real this time. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think something like that is definitely more possible now than it was two seasons ago.
Listen, if he goes for 25-30 million pounds, all that does is give Conte a lesser budget. That's all. You know, say for instance, now the club give him 200 million pounds, 150, 200 million pounds. So he sells Ndombele. They might say, you sell Ndombele, that's part of the parcel. He won't get that 30 million pound or 25 million pound. That'll go back in the club. He will keep what he's got. But if he got the money back for him, then that would go in the pot.
Yeah,
you can't take money if you're losing money. You can't take.
Yeah,
and
I think as much as obviously I'm not Daniel Levy's biggest fan, and I was one of those people out on the street when the Super League happens, and I was one of those people protesting against him, but I won't do that again until or if Conte isn't backed, because I think we've all said it tonight. This is the time to do it. And if you're not going to do it now, you're never going to do it. So Spurs related, thank you so much. I got it out of the dust-filled box tonight, just to wear it tonight, because we are back in the Champions League. But I just want to point out one star man that I don't think has been given enough credit. And I think the last maybe month or so, I've seen him be like, actually, he's taken this opportunity with a full grip. And I think, Becky, that is Ben Davies, because yesterday, again, there were so many blocks that man was firing in, and I'm so pleased for him.
Davis is my maiden name, so I've always had a soft spot for old Ben. But yeah, and you know, like you said, the blocks he's made, he's that person who is just bleeding Spurs, but he's working hard in training and he's doing what he needs to do. And it was lovely hearing them sing his name yesterday. I don't think I've ever heard them sing Davis' song amongst the million of other songs they were singing yesterday. It was such a great thing. But yeah, he's just so, and he's put on Instagram, I think, didn't he, today, something, a picture of Son saying my best friend or something like that. It just, yeah, he's obviously doing what he's been told in training, and it's showing fruition.
It really has.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a lot quicker. He's got a lot sharper, a lot mentality. Is like, I think the Liverpool game when he was blocking there, it was unbelievable. And you know, he plays that position for Wales. You know, as a wing back now, I'm not sure he can do that up and down all game. But where he plays in that left side as a 3, I think he's been one of our best players the last 3-4 months. And
he's Mr. Consistent.
Deserves every credit he can get. Every credit.
And if we can upgrade him in the summer, we have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people. I've spoken to a lot of people, and they're on about ship Ben Davis out and bring in another left-sided centre back. No. Bring in a left-sided centre back and keep Ben Davis. We need the depth, but for Ben Davis, for me, this season, yes, you got your Sons, you got your Kanes, you got your Romeros, but Ben Davies is my player of the season purely because he has been, since Conte's come in, Mr. Consistent. Yes, he makes a couple of mistakes. Who doesn't? People are partial to it. He has fully been Mr. Consistent, and it's great. And I'm friends with someone who played with him back in the Swansea days, and and this was back when Ben Davies we were talking about him being second to Danny Rose, and he wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible, and it was like, well, what is he doing at a club like Spurs? And his name's Charlie, my friend, and he was like, well, but the reason Ben Davies gets these big moves and gets these chances at bigger clubs is because, and he's talking about his time at Swansea, he turns up, he does what's asked of him, he doesn't talk back, he doesn't say no, he just gets on with the job, and managers like that. And that's obviously, and with that attitude, with the right manager, like with Conte, it's a perfect equation, and we've seen that this season.
And that just reminded me of his post-match interview. Was it did he score in the Newcastle game? Which was the game where him and Royal scored, didn't they? And they interviewed him after because he scored, that's right, just before half-time. Really key point in the match to score. And and his post-match interview, he was obviously so delighted that he scored. But again, he was saying it's not about me, it's about everybody else. And that, another one who's
a real pro.
And I think that's the thing. I think he is kind of an unsung hero because, yes, now we're talking about it, but those games, he just kind of goes unnoticed because he's just all over the place in terms of, like you've said, before Conte, you're thinking, oh, let's ship him out the door before the season starts. And now you're thinking, actually, we need to keep him because Dakota, having someone in the team that is like that is hardworking, like Formz has said, is consistent, he's got to stay.
Absolutely. I mean, you see that as another professional walking to a room. You see someone like Ben Davies doing that pushes you to be a better professional. And that is, I have made the likeness that Højbjerg is our Jordan Henderson. And I think, he's not particularly great at anything, but when he's on the pitch, he demands a certain level of effort from the teammates around him. And I think Ben Davies kind of fits in that mold a little bit as well. He's not particularly great at anything, but when he walks into a room, he is the person that you need to look at. How does he do things? I need to do those same things.
I love that. That is class. I just want to bring this up from Joseph. Joseph, thank you again for your super chat this evening. I think we are all over the moon, like I said, with top four. It is so nice to obviously not sit here and be depressed because I tell you what, if we did not get UCL, I would be having another drink thinking it was Saturday again. But luckily for us, that is not the case. But yeah, it's just been, like I said, it was an amazing game. The fact that now we can look ahead to the UCL. And before we go, I don't want to say your predictions for next season because I think that's too unrealistic with obviously not having the transfer window done yet. But Graham, I'll come with you first. What's your kind of hopes for next season, so to speak?
So we're going to win the Premier League, win the Champions League. We're going to do the quad.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah, but listen, if you don't think that, that's what you got to have in your head. We want to win every trophy. Every trophy we play. Just on that one with the Arsenal people saying, oh, you'll be chucked out of the Champions League early stages. Yeah, but we can go into the Europa League and win that. So
They'll go down to the conference.
Yeah, they go down. So but no, like listen. What I want is my football club, our football club. I want our fans to make the noise, make the new stadium the best stadium in the world, where the noise
Fortress.
Because Fortress. The Arsenal game. If we can do that every game, we won't lose a game.
Yeah, and it was cool. It was also quite good at Burnley, wasn't it? With that awful 12 o'clock kickoff. I'm not comparing the two, but there's that kind of connection. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do that every game because when you play the likes of Fulham, it's hard. The players need G'ing up. They need, come on, we can do this. Yes, they think it's maybe going to be an easier game. No, they're not easy games. Look at Brighton. We lost to Brighton. We lost to we went to Brentford and get the fans on our side, get the noise. I know I'm talking about Rangers here, but they took 150,000 supporters to Seville.
Yeah.
The noise was unbelievable. We did it when we went to the Champions League final. We have brilliant support, but we have to do that. They're like that every week. We have to be like that every week. We have to make it such a fortress that teams come out. On the Arsenal game, you saw quality players from Arsenal shrink.
Yeah.
You saw them actually looking around and thinking, where am I? That's what we got to do. You've got to hurt the opposition. And for me, if we can do that and get the fans doing that, we will win trophies next year.
100%. And I think it's kind of like what we've all kind of said tonight. It's slowly feeling like we're home again. I know Spurs song shit, I've already mentioned tonight. That Bentancur song is still ringing in my head, but it feels like we're all coming together again. And I like what you said, Graham, that next season, for that to just work even more and to bring home a trophy would just be fantastic. But Becky, what for you is kind of your thoughts prior to the transfer window and all of that rubbish? What is your thoughts right now of what you want from next season?
Obviously to do as well as we can in as many things. It would be great if we would, go deep in all of the cup competitions that we're in, because they're going to sort of kick in around the World Cup as well. So I really don't know how that's going to impact on us if we haven't, built the squad further. But yeah, like you said, we need to, those matches that it's almost like the matches we aren't expected to win, we've done phenomenally well this year in, and the games that we were expected to win, we didn't. And that's the bit that Conte will want to improve. And I think if we do that, then we are going to continue to build. And I just can't wait to get back there. Already Jack's asking me when the fixtures are out, and just can't wait.
I love that. I think that's the same with me. Obviously, I haven't been able in close recent not to be able to go to games because obviously I was playing football, but now I've retired, so to speak. It's so nice to be like, I'm going to the game at the weekend. I can't wait. I'm going to get there super early and make like a proper day, because obviously where I live down here, I have to. But meeting up with people, like when I met you, Becky, it's so nice. And it's such a family orientated thing, and I love it. But I'm totally with you. And Formz, what's your kind of thoughts as well, and not predictions, but your wants for next season?
I mean, this is a pivotal moment. This is make or break, and it's been make or break for the past couple of years. But now you actually get that feeling where it is make or break, because we've done so well in the past 7 months to build us back up to this level, and we just have to do that extra bit to tip us into the next level. And if we don't, then we're going straight back down. And with the likes of Newcastle, who've got this massive cash injection, and other teams that are only going to get better, we have to be the ones to get there first and compete with the top dogs. And I think that, look, we've all said it, and we'll all continue to say it until the first ball is kicked next season. As long as we've got a good summer, a really, really good summer, and the man is backed and he stays at the club, and this environment, this family atmosphere stays, I think that next season is going to be the one for us.
100%. I so hope that as well. But Dakota, your kind of final words on your wants for next season.
Yeah, I will. So you asked not for predictions. I'll give you a prediction and then I'll give you a want. My prediction is that Spurs will finish next season with more points than we've ever gained in a Premier League season before.
Wow.
Whether or not that's enough to win the league, I don't know, because we've got two kind of super teams in Manchester City and Liverpool who don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. Maybe if Salah and Mane leave, that opens up a door, but I think we're going to finish with more than 86 points, which is our highest ever total in the Premier League. That's my prediction. And my want is to meet all of you guys when I come over for a game next season, because it's happening.
For sure.
I love that. That would be cool. And that's the thing, like I keep going on about it, but I still get the buzz going to games. Yeah, I've been to quite a few now, and it's so nice just to see faces you talk to over a screen. To finally meet them in person. It's just an utter incredible feeling.
And I think going back to the stadium helps that. Yeah, the stadium helps that, I think, because the stadium we can meet up in the stadium because how great the stadium is as well. That contributes to that, so it's all kind of like coming together.
Yeah,
There really is. No, I love it. Graham, what were you saying?
I promise to come and meet you.
Oh, I love that.
Hey,
I thought you said
appreciate
something
that.
else.
I'm
Oh,
usually
yeah, I know.
working. It's very hard. It's like, but yeah, I'll come in. I'll buy you all a drink here.
Oh, like
Hey.
Saturday.
Thank you.
I'll hold you to that.
A lemonade for Holly.
Not if it's a Sunday, it'd be fine. I only drink on Saturdays. But no, it's been class, like I say, to sit here tonight to talk about that we're in the UCL next season. The fact that I don't think there's apart from a trophy this season, there's nothing more I could have wanted in that kind of sense. When at the start of the season we had Nuno, so now we've got Conte and we're in the top. It's a madness. And I also want to say, thanks, I'm confused. That would be class. Like I say, this show wouldn't be this show if I didn't have the people watching it and if I didn't have the people that agreed to come on. So for everyone that's come on this season, for everyone that's right here, right now, watching or here previously or going to watch this afterwards, thank you so much. Because like I say, it gives me something to do because teaching drives me nuts. So it's nice on a Monday evening to like either stress or have a therapeutic session about Spurs losing or be ecstatic and over the moon when we win. So thank you to everybody in the chat tonight and to you guys. And like I always do, we'll go around the table and say where we can find each other. Graham, I always say this every time. I don't think people need to know where to find you, but go for it anyway, mate.
Well, I'm only on Twitter. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but I don't use it. So I'm only on Twitter. You can see all my quotes. I love going on there. I love interacting with the Spurs fans. So it's Graham Roberts 4 at top. I think it's at Graham Roberts 4. So
love that. And
yeah,
we'll definitely have a clip.
Enjoy your summer.
I'll try to, but the women's Euros are on, so I'm going to stress about that as well. So there we go. But no, I'll definitely get a clip of you saying St. Arsehole Day. So that'll go on Twitter later for you to retweet. But also, Becky, where can
all the Arsenal fans ringing me,
of course, my little treat for you. But also, Becky, where can everybody find you doing your thing as well, mate?
Well, you know, those of you that people see me on Twitter, I am just an ordinary teacher. Me and Jack, my 9-year-old, go down to Spurs. So if you ever see us at the game, give us a wave and we'll have a great chat. But yeah, I'm on Twitter. And you'll also find me on Cheese Room podcast as well. But yeah, everyone have a great summer and can't wait to get back doing it again.
I know I'm going to be so bored now for the next so many months. But there we go. It is what it is. And Formz, the man of the rap, where can everybody find you doing your thing?
Formz on everything. If you want to watch me chat shit about Tottenham, chat shit about football, chat shit about anything, rap shit about anything, Formz on Instagram, on TikTok, everything. But if you actually want to listen to some good music, Formz on Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere you can listen to music.
And if you just want to play the intro and repeat, you can do it because you'll hear his dulcet tones on there as well. But thank you. And Dakota, where can everybody find you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm at Dakota J Booth, the letter J in the middle, on Instagram and Twitter. You can also, if you care to listen to some Americans talk about Spurs, go over to the Tottenham Depot podcast, wherever you can find yours. And me and some of my friends, talk about Spurs. We've got some women's Spurs coverage over there as well. You might not want to listen to us during the World Cup because we're going to be doing some U.S. men's team coverage, but come hang out anyway. It'll be a good time.
I love that. It's so funny. And like always, thank you to all of you that have joined me tonight. And I suppose for the last time this season, come on, you Spurs.
Come
the
on, you Spurs.
champions.